This video is brought to you by BT-20.
What is up guys, Karnak here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over the Royal Knights deck from BT-20. So without further ado, let's get right into deck profile. So for the Digitamas, obviously we're running the King Yggdrasil, which is the Tamas for the Royal Knights. It's got a lot of abilities. First off, in the raising area on your turn, all of your Digimon can Digivolve, and then whenever you would play a Royal Knight, you can reduce the play cost by 4, and then for every card in discard source, you can reduce the cost further by 1. And then at the start of your main phase, you can reveal the top card of your Digitama deck and put it underneath this card. And then all of your Royal Knights will go underneath this card source. And then of course, the inherent ability is whenever you play a Royal Knights option card, you can gain 1 memory. So, you know, this is the main playstyle for the deck. You just slap down Royal Knights for reduced cost, and then you activate their abilities. And of course, with the new set, we have a new win con now, and that is 3 of the Omnimon X antibodies. So this is the new Francais Omnimon. It's got Raid, Piercing, and Blocker, and then on play and on evolution, if you have Omnimon or X antibody in this card source, you can choose one of both players' Digimon and delete all other Digimon, and then return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So this is pretty much the all delete effect, except your this card and one Digimon on your opponent's board will stay on the field, but since you're bouncing one, so it's going to go away either way. So you just have this on the board to attack with. So it's a really powerful effect. The end of turn ability is one of your Digimon may gain Rush and for the turn and attack without suspending. So it's a pretty strong ability because if this card's on the board and it stays on the board, because you have ways to keep it on the board even if it passes to your turn now. You can just slap down your Digimon, and then when your turn passes, you can use this end of turn ability to have that Digimon attack. So it's pretty stonks. Like, you can attack with this one, and then you can also attack with the newly played one because it gets Rush, and it also, if it's a blocker, you can attack without suspending. So pretty good. So that way you can keep it as a blocker for the next turn. Yeah, overall very strong ability. Next we are running 4 of the Omnimon from BT-13. So I'm running 4 of these. You can bump this down to 3 if you want, but I just want to see this more often than not. And with the Cool Boy now, you can pretty much play this for a little bit less than before. So it's pretty good. So on play and on evolution, you can choose one point that you want and delete it. Or if you have the other ability is you can play Royal Knights from underneath one of your Digitamas with different names without paying its pay cost, and then after that, if you do play an ability with this ability, you can trash. You have to trash your egg, and then all your Digimon will gain Rush. So pretty much you just call out all of your Royal Knights with different names from your egg underneath your egg. So this is also one of the win cons. It's easier to do it before than before because you don't really you have a lot of ways to attack with your other things now, so you're not relying on just finishing the game with this. So you have a lot of ways to chip down your opponent's security so that you can have less Royal Knights in your egg to win the game. Next we're running 2 of the Gallantmon from BT-13. So this one's just a rush one. But you also reduce the play cost for every 5 cards in you and your opponent's trash, so you can play this for even cheaper. And it's also removal for 6 KLS or 13K and above Digimon, so it's pretty good for decks that can buff themselves on their own turn. So we're running 2 of those, and then let's move on to the other Royal Knights. We're running 2 Gankumon. This one's a blocker as well as on play or on evolution. You're not going to evolve in this deck except for Omnimon X. On play on evolution, if you have a Sistermon or from your trash, you can play a Sistermon, or from your raising area, you can play one of your Royal Knights from your egg underneath one of your eggs and play it. And you can outplay Omnimon or Genkumon with this card's ability. So you can use this to just build out a wall for your defenses, which is pretty good. And it is a black and red, which will be important later on. So we'll go over that once we get to the cards. Next, we're running 2 of the new Alphamon. So this is the Alphamon. It has Barrier, as well as on evolution and on play, you can recover 1. The second ability doesn't really matter because we're not going to get to it. But mainly it's here just for the recover 1. Staying alive is a little bit easier now with this Alphamon, so we're running 2 of those. We're also running 2 of the new Jesmon from BT-20. So this one has on play and evolution. You can play a token that has blocker, reboot, and decoy. That's 6k. And then on your turn, whenever another Digimon is played, you can pop something 8k or less, and afterwards, one of your Digimon can attack. So pretty good. Keep in mind, you still need to. It doesn't bypass the summoning sickness, so you still need to have a rush in order for you to get the attack. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Spawning the token is good because that token doesn't go away if it doesn't die on your opponent's turn. You just be able to use it as an attacker on your next turn, or just use it as a decoy to body block for your Royal Knights. So it's pretty good. Next, we're running 2 of the Lord Knightmon from BT-19. This one's really good because on playing on evolution, you can play a level 4 or lower Digimon from trash without paying its cost. So most of the time you'll be using this to play out your Omekamons. And then on your opponent's turn, you can redirect a attack to one of your Royal Knights. So it's a pseudo blocker, which is nice. Next, we are running 4 of the Dynasmon from BT-13. So this is one of the OG rares we're going to be running for the Royal Knights deck, just because it's still a really powerful searcher. Downside is this is a mono purple color card, so we won't be able to use it in conjunction with your Blast Evolution card. But it's still pretty good just to fill up your trash as well as to grab combo pieces in. So this is one of the cards you would probably want to open with. It is very expensive to hardcast this on the first turn, so probably on the turn 2 or 3. But overall, pretty good. It's a very strong turn 2-3 card. Next, we are going to be running 2 the Jesmon Ace, Jesmon GX Ace. So this one is on play and on evolution. You can put a Royal Knights trait card into this card source, and then you can pop something with less DP than this card. And then on attack, you can unsuspend this card, and then you can put a Royal Knight trait card. Sorry, and then for every 2 Royal Knight trait cards in this card source, you can trash the top card of opponent's security. So mainly you're going to use this for attacker, but it's also you can also Blast Evolve, because you just still the evolution restriction only activates on your turn, so that's why you can Digivolve into Omni X as well as being able to Blast Evolve. So pretty good. As you can see, most of our cards are black or red, so you'll be able to Blast Evolve on top of most of these. And then you can do stuff. You can do stuff, and then you can, yeah. It's just good. It's just good. It's a way to have a more defensive plays, but this card also works offensively because you'll be able to attack. You'll be able to attack. So yeah, it's nice. You'll be able to attack and unsuspend on attack, given that you have. If you play this with Genkumon or Purge, you can use 2 attacks with this. Most of the time, if you don't, then he'll just be there to remove your opponent's Digimon. So it's pretty good. Another card that we're running is Alphamon or Ryuken. So this one is another Ace Digimon. You can't Blast Evolve this just because it requires you to counter Blast Evolve. Blast Progress, sorry. So you can't use it, but on play it's still really strong. So on play, its ability is until the end of opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 15k, and then if you Progress, which we don't in this deck, you You can transfer tower opponent security and then recover 1. And then the both turns ability is whenever a security is checked, you get +3 memory. So that ability is really strong because on your opponent's turn, if they do attack you, you can gain 3 memory. So they'll probably choose not to attack you, or they'll have to find a way to get rid of your Alphamon first, which isn't too hard to get rid of Alphamon because there's still a lot of removal in the game that can get rid of it. But at least it's a threat on the board, and it's cheap to hardcast because they're both 9 cost, and with the cost reduction from your King Yggdrasil, playing these out are pretty cost efficient. So you're running 2 of each. Next, for the level 4s, we're running 4 of the Magnamon. So Magnamon's just here for a blocker, and whenever this card's removed from the battle area, you can draw 1. So it's here to help you refresh your hand, but it's just a cheap blocker to have. This is most of the time what you'll be playing on your first turn if you have to play Royal Knights. But if you don't have any Royal Knights in your first turn, don't worry, we have other cards to play. So we have Omnimon. This is Omnimon from BT-20. This is one of the main win cons for the deck as well. So you need to have this card in your hand or in your raising area in order for you to get your Omni X combo out. So this card's ability is on play. If you have 1 or less security, you can Digivolve into a Omnimon X antibody without paying its cost and ignoring the conditions. And then on deletion, this card goes into underneath your King Yggdrasil. And then the inherent ability is whenever one of your security is checked, you can rest this Digimon, which is resting your Yggdrasil, King Yggdrasil, and then you can play Omnimon from your source without paying its cost. So you need to rest this because they don't want you to abuse it. So if one of your security is checked and you have like 3 of these in your source, they want you to play all 3 out. So that's why you have to rest it. So that's one of the ways to get it out. The other way to get it out was Cool Boy, which we'll go over later. But yeah, being able to play this and then instantly Digivolve into Omni X is just stonks. So yeah, running 4 of these. You want to get this as soon as possible. This is very, very important. We're also running 2 the Omnimon from BT-13. This one is on play, draw 1. And then on deletion, you can choose a Royal Knight trait card from your hand and tuck it underneath one of your King Yggdrasils in the raising area. So we're only running 2 because it's nice to have, but it's not. I would run this at 4 if it had blocker, but it doesn't have blocker, so I'm running this at 2. You can run the Shoto Kazuma to combo with this, but I'm not currently running Kazuma in this deck. Yeah, we'll go over that later as well. So last for the Digimons, we're running 4 of the Systemon Blanc. This one is on play. You can treasure card from your hand and draw 2. And then it also has decoy for red and black, as long as you have a Royal Knights on the board. So we're running this because it's a low cost level 3 that we can hardcast to just go and get more combo pieces. I think she's pretty important for this deck. Still one of the best Systemons in the game, in my opinion. So just really good hand refresh. And then we're also running, of course, for the Tamers, for Cool Boys. Cool Boy is another very important combo piece for this deck. So what this does is whenever you play or evolve a Royal Knights, you can rest this Tamer to draw 1 and gain 1 memory. Royal Knights had a really hard problem maintaining hand in the previous iteration, and Cool Boy kind of fixes the problem. Not only do you get memory for when you hardcast the Royal Knights, which helps you further reduce the cost pretty much, but you also get to replenish that Royal Knight. So if you have multiple of these on board, it's just massive gains. So you just try and get these out as soon as possible. Like once you get like 2 of these out, you pretty much play your Royal Knights for free every turn. So it's quite good. And then on your opponent's turn, whenever one of your Royal Knights are removed from the battle area, you can play Omnimon from your hand without paying its cost. So this also works with, so you have multiple ways to play out your Omnimon. Either whenever your Royal Knights leave while it's on your opponent's turn, you can just go wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And you just all delete their board and they're like, what the hell? So you just yeah, they're gonna be pretty shook from that. There's obviously decks that can deal with it, but it's still really strong combo to have, because they'll have to rebuild their stuff, and you also have a really big blocker on the board, and you also have your fallout plays. So it's great. When you get it off, it's amazing. Next, we are going to be running 4 of the Last Guardian. So this is the new option card for BT-20, and this card is really good. So it's 4 costs, but keep in mind your King Dressel reduces the cost of your option cards as well, because you gain 1 memory every time you play an Royal Knight's option card, which this is. So if you have 3 of the eggs underneath, you pretty much play this for 1 cost, which is super good. So when you play this, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you can grab a Cool Boy as well as a Royal Knights or a Anybody card. So yeah, that's potentially 2 targets. And then the delay ability is whenever one of your Omnimons would leave the battle area, you can use the delay ability to prevent it from leaving. So this works on both turns. So either when you have to tuck it in with your King Dressel, you can use this so it stays on the board, so you can continue using its end of turn ability. Or if your opponent finds a way to remove it, you can just go, nope, it stays on the board. So yeah, overall, stonks. And then last but not least, we are running 3 of the Purge. So Purge is not as good now, just because we have Last Guardian. You know, even if you have 3 of these underneath, you're still playing Purge for 3 memory, which feels pretty bad compared to Last Guardian. You can play for 1 memory. So we're running 3 of these. These are still pretty good late game though, because you can if you start your turn with 3 memory, or if you play a Royal Knights and then you can gain memory back and then play this afterwards, you can still do a lot of setup. So it's still pretty good. But compared to Last Guardian, I think I would rather open with Last Guardian than Purge. So cutting this down to 3. You can cut this down to 2 if you want to make another space for some more different Royal Knights if you want. Because I think some people like the flavor and they want to run all of the Royal Knights, but for this deck, I'm not really running some of the older ones. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. It's really fun to play, and whenever you get the combo, it's good. But to get the combo, you pretty much you need these 3. You need to have these 3 in your hand, or this in your raising area, and this on the board. Or if you don't have this, it's still fine, because you can still use this ability from a raising area to evolve. But having Cool Boy just makes things a lot easier. So the game plan for now is try to get to your Cool Boy as soon as possible, either by using Last Guardian or digging for it with your System of Blanc. Less efficient ways is to just draw into it with your Omnimon or Omnimon, and everything else is just helping you survive. So if you want to run Shoto Kazuma, you can probably cut out Purge, and you can probably cut out a System of Blanc, or you can also cut out a Alphamon. You can cut these 3 out, one of each out for a Kazuma, because it also helps you out giving all your stuff blocker pretty much. But the problem I have with it is it's not very thematic, and a lot of your stuff already has blocker. So if you play a blocker out that turn, your Kazuma is not really doing anything. And also, there's the only real way to get Kazuma out is hard casting it, because it's not searchable with a majority of your searches in this deck, or your opponent checking it into security. So it's not super reliable to have, and those are the reasons why I'm not running Kazuma. But if you want to have a more quote-unquote tanky build, I think running Kazuma is okay. But if you want to run a pure Royal Knights theme deck, I think this build is fine. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys want to support the channel, you guys can feel free to buy singles at Bounty TCG and use coupon code CardoTacoDes0125 for 3% off on checkout on orders above 13 USD. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to watch more Digimon videos, make sure to check out the channel and subscribe if you haven't already. This is Kardaku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!